Good evening. Let us begin. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatam bhuvignanti e bhuridajanaha. Today is a very special day. Today is the Ratha Yatra in India, particularly in that Odisha, the state, Puri, the particular city where the temple of Lord Jagannath is situated. There is a huge crowd, millions. They have assembled and they are pulling out the Ratha. This is very interesting. The Lord himself has become Daru Bhuta. Daru means the wood. He has taken the form of the wood. The image is made of wood. Daru Bhuta Murari, they say. Murari, the God, the Lord, the Vishnu, he has this time taken the form of that wood. And this time is not the God is supposed to make people go, but this time it is just opposite. Devotees are taking him out on their lap and then putting him in a chariot and then drawing through all through the city they will go, and the God is sitting wherever the devotees are taking him. And this is very interesting. The God is sitting and he is allowing the devotees to take him wherever they go, and they are pulling the chariot through a rope. This rope is the faith and love for God. The faith and love that drags the God, draw the God, bring him down to the hearts of the devotees. And what is that Ratha? Though the Vedanta itself do not accept the conception of incarnation, and they do not believe that the God is having any form, but even then they are, particularly the Upanishad, Kathopanishad, giving a wonderful example of the chariot, which is nothing but the human body. The human body is the chariot. Atmanam Rathinam Viddhi. Kathopanishad says, know the self as the master. Atmanam, the individual self, as we call Jivatma. Rathinam Viddhi, that is the master of the chariot. Shariram Rathamevatu, and the body is that vehicle, the Ratha. So, when we are thinking this human body, it is a wonderful charm if we can understand that. We always think in a different way, more elaborate way, but unless and until we come back to the philosophy and see this truth and then enjoy, concentrate our mind, we will never be able to utilize this wonderful birth, the human birth, for the self-realization of the realization of God. The human body is precious, very, very costly, very, very costly. And this human body is the chariot. Inside that is sitting the master, which is the self. Buddhim tu sharatim viddhi. Now it says, it's not the mana, it's the buddhi. Buddhi means that intellect, the decisive faculty of the mind, that is called buddhi. Buddhim tu saratim viddhi, intellect as the charioteer. Mana pragahamevacha, the mind is the rein, the bridle. We have to control the mind. And whom you are controlling actually? Then it says Indriyani. Indriyani hayannahu. Our organs are the horses. And we have to control these horses, the 5 horses, the eye, the nose, the ear, the tongue, the touch, and all these pancha indriya, the 5 senses. That is creating problem for the human being, and that is the reason human being cannot realize God. So we have to control, and how to control that? Through mana. See, perfect yoga. That's called the Vedantic yoga. It is union with the God, with the Atman. How? By practicing this. Indriyani hayannahu. Organs are the horses. Bishayanste shugocharan. As because the horses, where they go through the road. And where is that road? Bishayan, the objects. Objects are the roads. Atmendriyo mano yukta. Now, who is united? Who is the yogi? Discriminating people. Atmendriyo mano yukta bhoktestahu manishinaha. Who are the manishinaha? The discriminative people? They call that when the self, the enjoyer, when it is associated with the body, mind and organs. And sometimes people, they try to kill the body without eating, too much of austerity. They try to give that suffering to the body. But that is not the idea. Idea is totally different. The 3 things, the body, mind and the organs, sense organs, should be in tune. I am utilizing these sense organs. I am using the body. I am using the mind, and then it is taking me to the goal, and that goal is the Atman. So today, when the Ratha is going, the chariot is going, millions of people, and people get mad. They will come from far away places only to touch that rope, and they think again in a gross way, if I am touching that rope, I am getting blessed. That's true, it is a faith. But at the same time, the moment we know that rope is nothing but the love, then immediately we can understand it is the love, it's not that physical rope, but the love. And where is the God sitting? Within my heart. And this body is nothing but the chariot. And that Atman is sitting. This is the way the Hindus, in a symbolic way, constantly giving the high teachings of Vedanta to the ordinary people. And last time when we were discussing the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the great, full of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, we came to this. Sri Ramakrishna is, let me ask you not to disbelieve in the forms of God. Sri Ramakrishna is emphasizing on this particular line. Let me ask you, whom he is asking? The Master Mahashaya. This Master Mahashaya, he is actually not only writing, he is realizing God. So the step by step, the wonderful teacher, the master, the guru, he is guiding him. In the beginning, when the Master Mahashaya came, he didn't say this. He inquired, what is your path, whom you like, with form, the God with form or without form? He said, without form. Okay. Now today he is telling him, let me ask you not to disbelieve in the forms of God. So when you look at this Jagannatha Murti, sometimes people think, what type of image is this? There is no form at all. But there, if we believe, we can understand that God is everywhere. God is all powerful. The God is all powerful everywhere. That conception has come in that image which is made of wood and which is named as Jagannatha. Now, this incarnation, with the moment we are thinking about the images, the God in form, then that is helping us to take towards the formless aspect of God. That is why the Sri Ramakrishna again and again requesting as if requesting the people, the devotees, believe in this. Believe, and then you will see the miracle what is happening. Here, when the soul becomes restless for God when one is through with the enjoyment of the worldly things. When all these experiences has been complete, then the soul becomes restless for the God. Or otherwise what happens? It goes on chatting and goes on enjoying, so many other things is happening, but actual joy is not coming because that love has not come, the love for God. Then we find in the August 1883 is a page 272, very small that paragraph. Here Sri Ramakrishna has come to Balaram Bose's house, and he is telling that in order to bring people spiritual knowledge, an incarnation of God lives in the world in the company of devotees, cherishing an attitude of love for God. He is giving a hint about which so many different type of religions, they have so many varieties of opinion. Incarnation of God. Now he said that an incarnation of God lives in the world in the company of the devotees. Why? To show them that God realization is possible, to show them how to train the mind for the God realization, how to live in the society. God himself comes down and then takes the human form and different form, and then guiding the human being. Even then we cannot understand, we do not believe. That is the unfortunate, and ultimately it goes for suffering, suffering and suffering. When you talk about the incarnation, the religion that we can see is the Christianity. And the Christianity, it says that God the Son and Son of the Father taking on a human body and human nature was made flesh. When we read these, then we find a little doubts are there, ideas are not that way very clear, but at the same time majority of the Christians, all denominations of the Christians, they believe that Christ is the Son of God. And the Son of God means what? What is the definition of Son? So this we find in the churches. Council of Chalcedon, it defined that the divine nature of the Son was united but not mixed with human nature. Is the council afterwards is not the Jesus. Is the council that they sat together and then discussed and they decided to accept in this way. The Son was united but not mixed with the human nature. Jesus Christ was both truly God and truly man. So this is the concept of the Christianity. And the particular, this word has come from the Latin caro, means flesh, and then it has been prefixed in caro, nation. In is the prefix, caro means the flesh. So to make into flesh, incarnation means something divine taking the flesh. The term is drawn from the Gospel of John, and the Word was made flesh. And this word, they say the second that of the Trinity, the second position, that was the Word. Word is a Greek. At the Greek they say it is Word, and the Logos. The Logos and the Word, and so that actually took the form, and debate continued for a long time in the Christianity, centuries after centuries, mainly the Jewish Christians, then Gnostics, the followers of Arius, and Pope Alexander of Alexandria. The first 4 centuries they debated to define the Son. What does it mean? Father, Son, Holy Spirit, these 3 referred to in the New Testament. And we find that in 325 AD, the first council of Nicaea, Nicaea, they are deciding. Then afterwards again 431, another council, again 451, the third council. We can understand the debate, how it was going on. They were totally confused. The moment we say that the God has taken the human form, how can we explain it? Because the human, in the concept of the faith, is all sinners. And how the God can take that human form, but at the same time they were not able to deny it. So again and again, all the leaders, they were sitting together and discussing to solve this problem, so that once for all we can accept this. So 325 AD, after the death of the Jesus, then 431, 451, the 3 councils, then afterwards they declared that Jesus was born full God, begotten from and not created by the Father, begotten but not created by the Father, and fully man. How the same the God became man? Now they say, taking his flesh and nature from the Virgin Mary. So it was impossible for the Christendom, the Christian world, to make a conception of the Incarnation, the God taking the human form. So human, obviously, so many other things are there. So how God can have those? So that is the main reason, I think so. And they were discussing this. He was a full God, but at the same time he got the flesh and the nature of human from the Mother Mary. So this is the Christian idea, but they accept in this way. There are many other forms are also there. Some people, they protested and all these things. You know, the last time we discussed that. Then comes a very famous religion, Buddhism, and being non-theist, they do not believe in the conception of God. So naturally Buddhism do not accept the concept of incarnation. We were, Sri Ramakrishna is giving that expression, incarnation, the incarnation of God. He comes and lives with the devotees to teach them the devotion. So that here we see that in the Christianity, that conception, Buddhism totally they are rejecting, but Buddhism accept rebirth theory, Punarjanma Veda, rebirth theory. And because the souls are taking rebirth, reborn again and again, and endlessly it is going on. And Tibetan Buddhism, however, believe, this is very interesting, the incarnation of an enlightened spiritual teacher who is called Lama, Dalai Lama, Panchet Lama, these are the Lamas. They are the reborn. Who has reborn like this? They say an enlightened spiritual soul. He has come to become the teacher. And when we go to the Islam, we find that completely rejection of this idea of incarnation. However, there is again, we find there is another sect is there, and that is called Aga Khan. Aga Khan was related to the Imam Ali and Fatima Ali. Imam Ali was the son-in-law of the Prophet, and Fatima Ali was the daughter of the Prophet. Their son, the Aga Khan, and in one place it says that Hazrat Muhammad himself is telling that the I and the Ali are from the same Noor. Here the word Noor has been used as a light, the light of God. I and Ali, this Ali, who was the husband of his daughter, here the Prophet categorically mentioned that we are from the same light of God. So obviously afterwards their son, the Aga Khan, who was also the spiritual leader, he demanded the same light is descending on me too. This Ismaili group, they accept this Noor conception. Then we come to the Baha'is, another sect of the Islam. They are the followers of Baha'itullah, and that reflects that attribute of the God is creator of the world and totally independent. They believe in this way, and the world emanates from God. So this Baha'itullah, they also believe in the Noor theory. Judaism totally reject it. Then comes the Hinduism. In Hinduism, of course, we find Avatara Asamkhaya. Avatar, the incarnation, is innumerable, so many hundreds and thousands and millions. That means each soul is the incarnation of the same God. So that is the conception of the Hindus. So when we read, where are the differences? These are the philosophical differences. When the Hindu believes that anything, whatever has been created, is nothing but the manifestation of the same God. Why? Because God has created it. Out of what? Out of the God himself. The God has created this universe out of himself. So obviously each and everything of this world is having the property of God. So each and everything is nothing but the incarnation of God. But maybe that some people, sometimes some creatures are not that way manifested, but the human being, the discriminative faculty is there. They are concentrating, understanding, controlling the senses and manifesting that divine power within. And there are stories of the Dasa Avatara, that the Vishnu particularly, he took the Avatara, is the Saguna Brahma. Avatara means the Saguna Brahma. Again, a little the special point of the Hinduism. They say Brahman is not having any form. The Brahman is all pervading consciousness. And the same Brahman's, out of his own will, accepting some of the attributes, some of the qualities. When accepting the attributes, that means the gunas, and also the qualities, it is becoming Saguna Brahma. And the other part is Nirguna Brahma. So Nirguna Brahma and Saguna Brahma. Same Brahman, when accepting these qualities out of his own will, nobody dictated, then it becomes Swaguna Brahma, Brahman with attributes. And from that comes all the avatars. When the avatara comes, they say it is the Vishnu avatara. And that is why in the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when he was in the deathbed, in that condition, when his best disciple, beloved disciple, he was only thinking, he never expressed in words. In this condition, if this person can say that he is God, I will believe. Because at the jaw of death, people cannot do anything except his own nature, cannot express anything except his own nature. So that is the reason he was thinking at this moment, if this person can say, immediately, without listening to those words, he was only thinking. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna replied, the same Rama, same Krishna in this body. Then he added a second sentence, but not through your Vedanta. Why this Vedanta? He added this because in the conception of the Vedanta, there is no Saguna Brahma, there is only Nirguna Brahma. So Vedanta means Advaita Vedanta, not all the Vedantas. Vedanta again, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, Advaita. Here it says, he mentioned, Sri Ramakrishna had mentioned Vedanta, it is Advaita Vedanta. And in this conception we find there is no Avatara, it is all pervading the consciousness. The moment we talk about the incarnation, the Avatara, we are always thinking the Saguna Brahma. Now again, the Avatara and incarnation are the same. So that is also there are debates are there. Incarnation is different because in the Christian theology, the definition of incarnation is little different. But in the Hindu philosophy, Avatara means one who is descending. Out of his own will, he is descending. And when he is descending, he is coming. He is doing a particular job, and that is establishment of the Dharma. Establishment of the Dharma righteousness. Why? For the betterment of the humanity. Because the ultimate manifestation of the creation is the human. And that human, having his discriminative faculty, and all other wonderful qualities, when they are dwindled and going towards the worldly things, then the God comes. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever the dharma, the righteousness, the path to realize God is confused, people are forgetting, then I come, descend. That is called Avatara. His Avatara means Avataran, is coming down as if. Where from he is coming down? It is only the expression. But the God is everywhere. He is only taking the human form, and he is taking different forms. In the traditional Hindus, they say Dasha Avatara. Dasha means 10. And the same Vishnu took this Matsya Avatara. When the whole world was full of water, then he came as a fish, then the Kurma, then the Baraha, the Vamana. And if we see, and we find that every time the creation slowly taking a proper form, the God is also changing the forms. First it was the fish, then the Kurma, the tortoise. It can go on the soil and also can live in the water. Then Baraha, then come Vamana, human being, but in a dwarf form, small form. Then come Narasimha, it is like half animal, half man, human. Then Parashurama. From here, the completely human form, and then giving the direction constantly, asking the people to behave properly, swadharma, his own responsibilities must be followed. That is called Parashurama. Then the perfect came Sri Rama. Then came Krishna. Afterwards, Buddha. And they say it will come the Kalki Avatara. Though Sri Ramakrishna, when he was born, according to Swami Vivekananda, once again the Satya Yuga has come. What is this Satya Yuga? We may discuss it some other time. That this another part, another way of thinking. When most of the people are trying to manifest the divinity that is within, that is called Satya Yuga. The most of the people. Now when we look around, what we see? Exactly opposite. So naturally we can think, how come the Swami Vivekananda said like this? The Satya Yuga was, where is Satya Yuga? Is completely, the human soul is ruined, is it? Is only the skin deep. When you look all the incidents that are happening all around the world, of course this is very, very painful, but it is skin deep. Majority of the people are understanding now that we have to express the divinity. What is the divinity again? Love, concern. Some people died far away place in Dhaka, and here in America people are mourning and remembering and praying and helping them. That is the love. The love is the bond for the whole humanity, and that is crossing the border. No language bar, no religion. It is embracing the, and is this not the expression of the divinity? So that is slowly coming. People are getting united. They are becoming conscious about the manifestation of the divinity, though maybe majority of the people are not very much aware through emotional way of expression. But this is also the dawn of this Satya Yuga, as Swamiji said, it has come. So this is the incarnation, and in the modern age, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna claimed that he is the incarnation of God, he is the God himself. And so many ways they tried to understand, is it true? Now we find again, Sri Ramakrishna is telling, an incarnation of God lives in the world in the company of the devotees, cherishing an attitude of love for God. Always the love for God that we can understand in this life. What is the love for God? Because the truth is the love. Truth is the God. And to the truth it goes always. When you see the complete manifestation, we see the Ramachandra, truth. We see the Krishna, the truth. We see Sri Ramakrishna, the truth. The truth that they are holding, and they have a complete love. Sri Ramakrishna said, I can give everything except the truth. That I cannot give. So that is the incarnation, the Avatara. But why can't we understand it? Again, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna himself, who is the God himself, he has incarnated as a Krishna form. He said, Abhojananti mam mura, manushim tanum asritam, manushim tanum asritam. Asrita, that is the word. He has accepted the human form. For us, we are bound to take this form, different type of forms, sometimes luckily in the human form. Luckily that we are trying to understand the religion and the truth. That is our real luck. And in the previous life we have worked hard. That's why they are dragging us over here and to the holy places, to the holy words, to the holy books. So that is, but still it is difficult to understand Avatara. Why? Manushim tanumasritam. You behave just like the human being. When they are behaving just like the human being, it is very difficult to understand. But if he behaves like a very special way, sometimes he is lifting the whole hill, or walking on the water, or doing this or that, then we can understand, oh, it must be a super power he is having. So we can accept him. But when he is behaving so normal way, it's very difficult. In the Krishna also, they couldn't understand. When he went to the court of the Duryodhana, he was then talking on behalf of the Pandavas. They couldn't understand him. They were rather misunderstood him, doubted about. So naturally, he said, Sri Krishna, Abhojananti mam mudha. Mohagrastha is mudha. Who is the Mohagrastha? Mohagrastha, those human beings, they think that this world, which is constantly changing, whatever I am trying to hold is changing. It is as if like holding the air in the fist or taking the water in the palm. I cannot hold it. It always goes away. But still I think I will hold it. I will get it. I will have it. I will enjoy. They are mohagrastha, deluded. Moha we can translate as delusion, deluded. Why deluded? Because the discriminative capacity is not working properly. So they are totally covered. The discriminative faculty is not there at all. So they cannot realize God. They cannot understand the Avatara, and that is why it is like this. It is like going up and coming down the stairs after having once reached the roof. Which in Avatara, he was climbing the stair, reached the roof, and again came down. He didn't stay back over there for eternity. He again came down to the base to help the people, to show them the staircase, to show them and tell them it is safe. You can also climb, just climb like this. That is the work of the Avatara. In order to reach the roof, other people should follow the path of devotion as long as they have not attained knowledge and become free of desire. It's a very clear instruction of Sri Ramakrishna that as long as you have the desire, then following the path of knowledge is impossible. Many people, they talk about Vedanta. They are very proud of speaking on the Vedanta. They claim that they have understood Vedanta, and they think that they should also teach to others the Vedanta. But ask yourself, standing before a mirror, am I having any desire? Then if you have the desire, then you are not the student of knowledge. And then only way is the devotion. The Sri Ramakrishna is very categorically, in order to reach the roof, other people should follow the path of devotion as long as they have not attained knowledge and become free of desire. What else he can say? How clear he can be? So those who were sincere, they are trying to realize God. Is this not the perfect instructions? What else? The shopkeeper does not go to the bed before finishing his accounts. He observed it. Similarly, one should not stop unless and until he or she realizes God. Constantly, every moment praying to God, and when you complete that, you can do anything. He goes to sleep only when his accounts are finished. Master Mahashaya giving a comment. A man will certainly succeed if he will take the plunge. Success is sure for such a man. Master Mahashaya constantly feeling that I should give away all these worldly duties and I should plunge completely 100% in the pursuit of God. That was his desire. But Sri Ramakrishna asked him, no, because your children are still need your guidance. You have to earn money to support your family. You should not leave those duties. So constantly, whenever he talked like that. But Sri Ramakrishna was a very good master. He told, no, you have to complete your duties. Then the time will come. Time came. After the passing away of the great soul, the Sri Ramakrishna, this Master Mahasaya, he became really a very good teacher of spirituality. He started writing this book, whatever conversation he noted, he started writing, people started coming to him. His whole 24 hours, he was devoted to this thought. Well, what do you think of the worship conducted by Keshav, Shivnath and the other Brahmo leaders? Sri Ramakrishna is examining his devotees. The people go to different places, as usual here also, now also. We go to different, whenever we hear, oh, that man has come, we will go and listen, this, that. And sometimes they are impressed also. Sri Ramakrishna was choosing his own people who will understand his philosophy, who will understand his teachings properly. He chose Master Mahasaya, and every moment he was examining him, is he really understanding or not? So that's why we find in many places he is asking the question to him. And here, well, what do you think of the worship conducted by Keshav, Shivnath? The Shivnath, Keshav, they are the Brahma Samaj leaders. Do we know the Brahma Samajis? They were not satisfied with the Hindu way of life. So from the Hindu, remaining as a Hindu, they started another path that's called Brahma, and they were not accepting the form of God. And that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna was imposing, almost giving the order to the Master Mahasaya who had that inclination towards them. It's not good for you, don't go over there. And now we see there is nothing remain. So the path that the incarnations are marking, that is the true path, following which easily, surely we can realize God. But if we don't understand that, okay, we have to move around again and again. So he said, Master Mahasaya, he said, they are satisfied, as you say. Whatever they are doing, they are satisfied with describing the garden, but they seldom speak of seeing the master of the garden. This is a very wonderful way Master Mahasaya observed it. And he is telling that these people, they are very satisfied describing the garden. The God has created this, God has created that, God is all merciful, God is all powerful. All these things they are going on, telling and satisfied, and feeling that we have understood God, but not talking of seeing the master of the garden. Describing the garden is the beginning and the end of their worship. Sri Ramakrishna very clearly he appreciated, you are right. Our only duty is to seek the master of the garden and speak to him. The only purpose of life is to realize God. This is the philosophy of Ramakrishna Mission. This is the philosophy of the Vedanta societies. The only goal is to realize God, and for that we must strive, and we should not adjust with others. Okay, just to bring more people, let us do this and that. No. That is why the more you spread, increase the number, the quality goes down. The ultimate truth, it will be mixed with something else. Sri Ramakrishna, the only purpose of life is to realize God. Not describing the garden with the wonderful words. I have seen many of the people, almost all of them in India, they go, they speak a few words about something, mostly Ramayana, and there's a big group of musicians, almost 10-12 people sitting over there on the dais, and he is sitting on a chair. And then the moment he speaks 5 minutes maybe, they start singing, and the melody, and so rhythmic. People are carried away with that, and they are clapping, dancing, very happy. They are describing the garden only. So that's why I used to tell, and now also I say, it is not the entertainment. When the spiritual discourses, entertainment is of course there, but not only for the entertainment, but for enlightenment. And enlightenment is possible when the speaker has also realized something, dedicated his life for that particular purpose, and sticking to that, then only it is possible, otherwise not. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling our only duty is to seek the master of the garden and speak to him. The only purpose of life is to realize God. Now we found that Sri Ramakrishna is going from house to house, and he is working so hard. He knew that it is very difficult. His health was also not very good. He was not keeping very good health, robust health. So he used to complain to the Divine Mother, you gave the very strong body to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have not given anything to me. I am always feeling sick. So I cannot go to the people. Even then, with that failing health, he used to visit house to house, wherever he had any connection, he used to go. He used to talk, he used to sing, he used to encourage people towards the path of God. Here, after the Balaram Bose house, he went to Avatara, and here something very special happened. Then here the religious fervor, etc., it was going on, and the master was still in an abstracted mood and said to other. He went to the other's house and he was talking with the other. He was sitting in the other's drawing room, and all other devotees were also with him. Then he said, my son, he was addressing the other. He was the deputy magistrate at that time. He was in a very high post, and the time of the British rule, Indian having that post is something great. That other to whom he is addressing, my son, meditate on the deity whose name you chanted. Avatara was chanting the name of the God. See, chanting the name of God, majority of the people they do that. Early morning they will get up. If you go to the northern and southern India, mostly eastern India they have forgotten for some reason, I do not know, still they do majority the kirtan. In the early morning they will get up and do the kirtan and all, but the western India, northern India, southern India, they all right from the childhood. If you go here also, here in America also, they always take their children to learn some of the slokas. They love to recite that. Majority of the people, they will be reciting the whole Gita. I know I went to an ashrama in Texas. One gentleman is there. He has memorized the whole 700 sloka. The moment you just ask where is this sloka, he will tell the number and the chapter. That way he has memorized it. When he walks in the evening time, he goes on chanting the whole Gita. Another young boy came, he has also completed that. His father brought him there. So they are very fond of doing, but meditating, that is also necessary. This is the first step, that's good. But one of the Sri Ramakrishna's direct disciple, he used to read only one sloka of the Bhagavad Gita, only one sloka, and whole day he used to meditate on that. Swami Turiyanandaji, he used to meditate on that whole day. So that master, our Sri Ramakrishna, whom the writer mentioning as the master, he is mentioning to other, my son, meditate on the deity whose name you chanted. Then he did a wonderful thing with these words. He touched other's tongue with his finger and wrote something on it. Then Master Moshe, who was just sitting near, he is mentioning, wondering, did the master thereby impart spirituality to other? There's different type of diksha. We, the ordinary gurus, we give the diksha in the world and we tell it to the ear of the devotee. But the great masters like Sri Ramakrishna, just by looking they could give that power. Just by touching they could give that power. And we have found, though very rare, sometimes he used to write names of God on the tongue of the devotee. Sometimes he used to touch their body. That way he used to transmit the spiritual power. Other was a blessed soul. Sri Ramakrishna blessed him. But what do we learn? We learned that in the beginning, devotion is necessary. Along with the devotion, discrimination is a must. And then finally, we must meditate on that particular deity. So devotion, that will take us to near to God, and that will help us to forget the world. And then discrimination, that will help us to stick to that decision. And then finally, when the mind is withdrawn from the world, when the mind is totally concentrated and very strongly accepting the concept of God, then meditation. My child, my son, meditate on the deity whose name you chanted. Next day, you will start another chapter, Master and Aim. So this is the conversation. We'll start that chapter. Let us offer our pranam. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa Dhritabrigraham vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.